Now we're ready to do the back side of this postcard. So I'll go to normal mode. That way I can see my guides. I'll click on Pages and double-click on page 2 and click the Word Pages to make it collapse again. And we'll start by drawing a rectangle where the stamp would go. It's common in postcard layout to have a permit paid pre-printed on the card. And with the rectangle tool, you get a default 1-point black stroke. So if I move to where the pink margin starts, I'll see a little white arrow on the bottom of my cursor. I'll hold down Shift to keep this a perfect square or proportional as I drag. And I'll let go of my mouse first. If you let go of the Shift before the mouse, you may get a rectangle. It won't be a perfect square. And I use my Smart Guide to make sure that I was getting 3/4 of an inch. If yours didn't go exactly there, you could double-click in the middle of the number and type 0.75 and press Return or Enter. On the control panel across the top, I'm going to make my weight for this box thinner at 0.5 point. So this is your stroke or border weight. I'll go to my Type tool, and if I were to click and drag here, the box with the dotted lines around it indicates that I'm starting a new text frame. If I move over the existing rectangle, one quick click will convert this frame to a text container. I'll change my font to Myriad Pro, one of the fonts included with the Creative Suite. I'll make my size smaller, pressing Tab to accept it, and I'll choose optical kerning so I get better, more readable letter spacing, better text. You can actually set this with no documents open, and it will be that way in all new text boxes. I'll type US, postage, press Return or Enter, paid, Return or Enter, permit, number 1. Very fictitious. I'll do a Select All, Command A or Control A, and I'll go to the Paragraph section of the control panel and center. Now this centers horizontally, but I'd like the text also centered up and down in this frame. So under the Object menu is Text Frame Options. I always remember Command B or Control B for box options. And if Preview is checked on, you could change your vertical justification to Align Center. And now it's centered up and down inside the box. I'll click OK, go to my Selection tool, and click away to deselect. Now I'm ready to place my text, so I'll choose File Place, or I always say in my head, Drop in Picture or Drop in Text. Control D on Windows, Command D on the Mac. I'll go into my text files in the Assets folder, and I'll place the postcard text. Moving to my pink margin guide and purple column guide, when I get close to the guide, my tiny arrow in the upper left corner of the loaded cursor changes to white, black, white. When I see white, one quick click will fill my column, or my margins if I only have one column. I'm on the Selection tool, but a double click from any selection tool, Selection or Direct Selection, will always take you to your Type tool and inside the text box. You don't actually have to travel over to the toolbar and click the Type tool. I'll hit Command A or Control A to select all, and I've built an InDesign document with styles already created for you. Reusing styles is an excellent way to control your layout. So on the Panel menu in Paragraph Styles, I'm in the Typography workspace, and the Panel menu is the 4 little lines with the down arrow. I'll click and choose Load All Text Styles. That will load both character and paragraph styles. In the Styles document, there's one character style. Character styles can be used on individual words or individual letters. In my Chapter 2 folder, you'll see the Postcard Styles InDesign document, and I simply double-clicked on it. It detected Heading 1, body, bullets, and the bold, character style. The little A means it's a character style, not a paragraph style. I'll click OK to bring them all in, and I'll click once on body with all of my text selected. Now I want to use styles that are closer to the cover. I have Prestige Elite used for the cover quote, and Adobe Garamond Pro used for the author. So when I double-click back on page 2 and click in my text, I'll go to Paragraph Styles and double-click on Body. In basic character formats, I'm going to use Adobe Garamond Pro. That is in the G section. Even though it starts with the word Adobe, Garamond is really the font. And the Pro fonts are fully cross-platform compatible. So I'll click OK. Then I'll highlight the items that should be bulleted and hit Bullets. If I double-click on Bullets, you could see it was based on Body. So when I change the font for Body to Adobe Garamond Pro, Bullets also updated. And I'll click OK. I only need to click once on the headline and click once on heading 1 since it applies to only one line. I'll finish up by highlighting tips for color. You can click and drag, or a double click will always select a word. A triple click will select the entire line. And I can go to Character Styles and click once on Bold. And click away and go to Preview to see my finished piece. And that is the layout for the back of this postcard.